Hey guys, this is Non-Lammers of Invoked 101, and I am sorry about the week-long hiatus. Like I said, we were actually out of state. We were stuck up in Pennsylvania, but now we're back, and I figured what way to come back than with a Invoked Mekk-Knight deck profile. This is my newest version of Invoked Mekk-Knights. This is actually the first time I've built the deck since, I believe, since the new Cyber Dragon stuff came out, because I've been playing that deck pretty devotedly for a while. But real quick before we get into the deck profile, down in the description there is a link to our Patreon if you want to support us on there. Go check that out. There's also a link to our Discord if you want to join that. That's down in the description as well. And then in the intro there's a link to our Instagram. So if you guys want to check out any of that stuff, that's all there. But now let's get the extra deck and the spells out of the way, and we'll talk about the monsters. Zoom in just a touch. Alright. So here we go. To start us off, we have triple Alistair the Invoker. This guy is like your bread and butter, lets you go first and actually gives you decent turn 1 plays, and really is one of the few reasons that you actually can go first. Searches Invocation, shuffles him, not shuffles himself back, but is also a hand trap for 1,000 on any fusion monster. Pretty dope card overall. Then we have Double Time Maiden. So what this card does is this lets you special, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. Super cool card, just lets you, free special summon, and also works really well with the Alistair. You could also make Link Kribo off this, and if you have a spell in hand, you can set it and summon Mekk-Knight straight from the hand using this. I actually don't run the Link Kribo in my deck right now, but I might end up running it if I can find something to cut. After that, we have the Mekk-Knight package, starting off with triple purple. This is like one of the best Mekk-Knights, if not the best Mekk-Knight. Probably the best one going first, because you get to special summon him and then search out a new Mekk-Knight, and then he comes back onto your neck, standby phase. 2500 body, level 8, pretty dope overall. After him, we have double Blue Sky. This is a really cool card. All the Mekk-Knights special summon themselves if a column has 2 or more cards in it, and Blue Sky nets you advantage. You get to search up to 3 different Mekk-Knights if they have 3 different cards in the same column. Just a very cool card overall. And then we have double Indigo Eclipse. This is your move man. He just moves the Mekk-Knights out of the way. He moves them into different spots, just to different zones. And then we have 1 Red Moon. So what this guy does is he says you can banish a Mekk-Knight from your graveyard and then target it, and then it pops a monster as a target. Yeah. Target 1 face-up monster in this card's column and destroy it. Yeah, so he does target. That kind of sucks. But that's it for the Invoke stuff and the Mekk-Knights. I think it's like 8 Mekk-Knights, I think. So what is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Yeah, 8 Mekk-Knights. And then 3 Alistair and the 2 Time Maiden for our main stuff. And then we have hand traps. We, of course, have triple Ash Blossom, just one of the best hand traps, if not the best hand trap ever printed. Insanely strong. And then of course we have Ghost Ogre. This card has started to make a comeback, and it's pretty good. Honestly, it's a light, this is a fire, so both of these together make some of the best invoked monsters, although this could also be Effect Veiler and probably be just about as useful. So there we go, that is it for the monsters. Talk about the spells. So the spells are actually where this deck changes drastically from my older builds. To start us off, we have triple Invocation, your fusion spell, your built-in super poly from the graveyard. Very cool card, just super useful. Recycling those Alistairs. And then triple of the field spell. What this does is it searches Alistair and prevents your opponent from solemning your invocations. Very nice, but not always as nice as I would like it to be. Of course, 2 terraformings just to search it because it is important to the deck. After that, we have triple Call by the Grave to make sure everything that we play goes through. Stupidly good card. And then an amazing card for this deck is Super Poly. Considering everything in your extra deck is a target for this, it's pretty insane. So what you can do with this is if your opponent has a monster and you normal summon Alistair and they like stop you with it, you can chain Super Poly to whatever. They can't respond to it, and they can't respond to your fusion summons if you have the one thing. Not that it's necessary. This is kind of like it's Super Poly, yeah. So very good in this deck. Maining 2 Twin Twisters right now, siding the 3rd. I'm not going to show you my side deck because it's not done yet, but siding the 3rd Twin Twisters definitely, just because this is a super back row heavy format. I figure you really have to main Twin Twisters right now. And then after that, we got double Pot of Desires to dig deeper into our deck. I have no issues playing Pot of Desires and Invoked Mekk-Knight. I've always played Pot of Desires in this deck, so as long as you resolve the search for Red Moon off of the blue sky, and even then you can still resolve it with Move Man and purple off of the blue sky, you're pretty fine. But yeah, I need to switch this out for either another common or another ultra. And then next up we have Triple Mind Control. So this is a card that a lot of Invoked Mekk-Knight players used to play, and I think playing it now is even better just because you get to take something from your opponent and then utilize it for your own link summons or whatever. But yeah, I think it's forever, right? No, end phase. Okay. But yeah, so pretty good card overall. And lastly, the search target off the Mekk-Knight link. This is World Legacy Succession. It's just a monster born, but to a zone a link monster points to. So very cool stuff indeed. Very, I like this. Some people play Instant Fusion. If you want to add Instant Fusion, you can just throw 2 copies in there and then play 42, because this is flat 40 right now. So I thought about playing 42 with this build. Alright, so lastly we have the extra deck, and of course, no Invoked deck is complete without the man himself, Mekka. Big negate, just like lets you negate stuff by discarding the appropriate card, and then banishes, which is pretty nuts. It's very good. Although if your opponent Lancias you, I don't think it gets to resolve, unless it says negate then banish. And if you do banish it, so it still does negate, it just doesn't get to banish. After that, we have the heavy hitter Purgatrio. So this guy gains 200 for every card your opponent controls and can swing at every monster your opponent controls once each. And then it also does piercing damage, so just a very strong card overall. One Cockgeist, this guy lets you, he's untargetable and indestructible by card effects and can swing from defense mode. But if he swings from defense mode, he uses his attack as his attack, which really sucks. I wish he used his defense, considering he has a beefy 2900 defense, making him stronger than Mekka. And then after that, we have Invoked Kaliga. So I'm running this right now as a super poly target for Orcust, because he needs Alistair and a Dark Monster, and this guy's honestly like kind of decent, because he's a skill drain and also a Dark Door built into one. Although if you wanted to cut something, cut this guy because he's not super great. After that, we have one Elysium. This is your big thing. It's an invoked monster and a monster summon from the extra deck. This is another good extra deck target if you can get out one of your fusions, or just like a link no, because it needs to be an invoked monster. Oops. So yeah, if you can get out one of your other fusions and then this, and then like super poly away something into this, like in mid battle phase, it would be pretty amazing. And then actual super poly target, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, very cool. And then one Starving Venom. I don't have Starving Venom on me right now. I'd like to, but that's basically just for Orcust, while this has some other capabilities, being able to fuse with other things. But yeah, so I need to get myself a Starving Venom. And then that's it for the fusions. We're gonna go to the links, which I'm playing. Yeah, it's 15 cards. One Invoker of Madness. This guy is pretty insane. Lets you keep fusion summoning, lets you search Book of the Law, which I'm not playing, although I have thought about it. One Mekk-Knight Morningstar, another amazing link monster, just like actually like a great link too for the deck. Needs a Mekk-Knight and any other monster, and you get to discard a card and search out a World Legacy card, and then it also has the effect of Mekk-Knight. You don't take damage from battles with Mekk-Knights in different columns than the attacker, and they don't die, which is pretty nuts. Spectrum Supreme, because he's big and can swing directly. Underclock Taker for the mind control. Nightmare Phoenix also for the mind control and back row pop. And Borreload Dragon for the mind control and because he's Borreload. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for the deck. I do have a side deck, but it's mostly just artifacts right now and that third Twin Twisters. Probably gonna add some Time Lords, because Time Lords are pretty decent in this deck, along with just some other generally good stuff like Chaos Hunter and others. I think that would be a good choice. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this deck. I like it. I've always enjoyed Invoked Mekk-Knight. Like when it first came out, I kind of thought it was stupid, but once I got my hands on the Mekk-Knights and started playing the deck, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. So tell me what you guys think about this deck in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.